Honestly, right now just doesn't feel like the right time to start IVs. It just doesn't feel like it's worth the risk for me to have to like potentially be admitted.
Good morning, guys, from beautiful sunny North Carolina. It is almost 85 degrees here. I've been sweating out in the yard, working on a project we started yesterday, and the yard feels a lot more under control, which in a moment in time when our world's kind of out of control as this coronavirus spreads, I guess it feels like an accomplishment to get something a little more under control. But Mary and I are just working on, guys, look at these. I think that, are these red blossom trees? They are awesome, but they're also so polliniferous. Like, look at this side table. It's just covered, and it just comes in sheets. Anyways, so I've been taking my allergy pill, but
My mucus is getting darker.
your mucus is getting darker. Good morning, honey.
Good morning.
You just working on clearing your lungs this morning?
Yes, and I did the dishes for the first time in weeks. It was so fun.
Thank you, honey.
It's good when you feel good enough to do dishes.
I don't think that many people celebrate dishes. And you know, you gotta learn to celebrate the little things.
Yes, and if you guys catch that virus we had, and then you get to do the dishes, you'll know exactly what I mean. All right, I'm gonna make some chili, and here's why. I have leftover, this was from yesterday, it's Sloppy Joe mix, or not mix, whatever, Sloppy Joe meat. I just did ground beef and then a bunch of like different spices like ketchup and Worcestershire sauce and brown sugar and that sort of thing. So we've both already eaten this last night for dinner and today for lunch. So I thought I'd turn this into chili. I have some frozen tomato sauce, tomato paste. I do tomato paste in little like ice cube trays. And then some frozen, what is this, pizza sauce and stewed tomatoes. Just like the remnants of cans, you know, like I used half the can yesterday or whatever. I wouldn't have frozen it if I knew I was going to use it the next day. But anyway, we also have some pulled pork. I thought Peter might really like that in the chili. And I thought I'd use some of these black beans and then I'll freeze the rest. And this is how I do my bacon because I only ever use about a slice and a half or 2 slices or something like that at a time. And so I freeze it in parchment paper like this. So then I just have those little, that's 3 half slices, so a slice and a half of the full size. So anyway, that is what I'm doing. The way that it's kind of burning down there reminds me of one of our very first months we were married, and I burned the bacon really bad. And I still do it 9 years later. I added a little bit of celery, a little bit of onion, and the stewed tomatoes. I just plopped them in there, and I'll let those thaw out, and then we'll see what we add next. I've now added a little bit of purple onion and some garlic. I just added about half a can of black beans. I broke off a little bit of the frozen tomato sauce, 1 block of the tomato paste, and some of the frozen pulled pork that Peter made. I'm not usually a put sweet peppers in the food type of person. I like raw peppers, and I'm learning to like fajita vegetables, but I put some sweet red pepper in the chili. Okay, why is it burning? Just a moment. I'm gonna add a can of diced tomatoes because I think it needs more liquid. Ugh. Come out. I figured since I'm calling this chili, I better add some chili pepper. So I put chili powder, cayenne, and a little bit of paprika because I didn't Google it and I figure those sound like a good idea. And then salt and pepper. Well, this is a first. I just opened this can of seltzer water and there's little chunks of ice floating in the top. So I'm gonna take it out to Peter because like a seltzer water slushie when you're working outside, I mean, what could be better? I have a slushie for you.
Oh, a slushie?
Yeah, it's like frozen slushie.
Is it in the fridge?
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
Okay, thank you. Mmm. That's amazing.
Good, you look so cute. It's awesome. Let's put some onion and garlic powder, just to say we did. Okay, now I've cut up an orange and I have some grapes for Peter. Perfect timing. I have something for you.
What is it? Ooh, thank you. Okay, I am in, took a shower.
He did so much good work.
So did you. I smell good work in here.
Well, you told me it smells weird.
Well, no, I said it smells interesting. Well, by interesting is I came downstairs after my shower and I smelled your food cooking, but I couldn't decipher what it was. That's what I meant by that.
So the chili is done.
Okay.
And I was thinking, well, we don't have any cornbread. So then I thought, what is another option? And I knew that we had these corn tortillas in there.
Okay.
So then I thought, maybe if we put it in the chili, it'll like squishy up and like, it'll be like cornbread. So I shoved a piece in there and it squishied up. And anyway, so then I decided, it squishied up. Then I decided to try like a layered situation.
Interesting.
So I layered it and put it in the oven. So I don't know, we could try it.
Yeah.
I figured I'll eat the one with the cornbread and you'll eat the one without.
We'll see.
Okie dokie. I made yours with chips.
Nice. That looks amazing.
Thanks for fighting for me.
With you.
Link in the description. Update on my layered chili lasagna type thing.
It's really good.
It's good. I didn't give it to him because I figured he would like it without the corn tortillas better, but I mean, I guess when I put the chips around, that's basically like a corn tortilla.
Just less mushy.
Yes, I like the smushy.
But no, it's really good. It reminded me of like a corn, like, I don't know what I'm saying.
Like a chimichanga?
Yeah.
Because that's like a corn tortilla.
Yeah.
Yep, so I layered the cheese and the chili and the corn tortilla, baked it, and then put sour cream and avocado on top.
So good.
Are you three having a good time?
Yeah, we're all in the sun, on the couch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You'll have to show them the project you just started.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Amidst how much mucus and coughing is going on, I still feel really good, and I'm really thankful for that. I heard back from my CF doctor today, and every single one of my like viral tests, both the respiratory swabs and any of my blood work and everything, has come back negative, which she suspects the fact that it all came back negative, there's a false negative in there somewhere, because Peter and I were both really sick. Again, if it had just been me, then we would have probably thought more like a CF thing, but it was obviously not a CF thing. It's now turned into a CF thing. This morning was my very last dose of the antibiotics, and at this point, my doctor was saying, let's, finish those, and then over the weekend, let's see how I do. And then if we need to start IV antibiotics on Monday, we can. At this point, because I'm not having fevers, we're thinking that I will be okay without antibiotics. And honestly, right now, just doesn't feel like the right time to start IVs because I'm not having fevers. If I was having fevers, different story. But because I'm not having fevers, it just doesn't feel like it's worth the risk for me to have to potentially be admitted. So if I started IVs and my blood work tanked and it was bad and we had to switch it and I had to be admitted or something, it's just not the right time. most of the time with my CF care, we don't tend to put the timing off like, oh, let's just wait. Of course, my IV antibiotic situation is very kind of different because my body reacts differently. So sometimes we put it off because there are no good options, that's for sure. But if my lungs are starting to decline, we're like on the phone with my team pretty immediately. And so for us to make this sort of decision, like, let's just wait this out, we don't want to risk, one, taking up one of the hospital beds in case like a COVID-19 patient needs it. Number two, if I go on IV antibiotics, I'm going to be going in to get blood work or possibly having a nurse come here to do blood work. But either way, just like more exposure, and it just doesn't feel like the right timing, specifically because I do feel like most of the symptoms are getting better. We know that my chest x-ray looks good, so that's reassuring. So even though there's obviously a lot more mucus in my lungs, it's apparently not like clogging me up too bad. That's a horrible word, but apparently that's the word that I was thinking. So that's where we're at, and I'm thankful for my doctors being really communicative during this time, because it does kind of feel like, in a way, I'm like on my own at my house in quarantine, like when I had to give myself the Neupogen shot and stuff. But that's where we're at in the world right now. And I know that if my body were to decline really quickly, I could go be admitted with knowing the risks. But at this point, I'm safe at home, and I'm thankful for that. Okay, wait for it. Wait for it. Ta-da! Did you show them that you redid the
Oh, I did
lights?
show them that. So we put up these lights a couple weeks ago, and it was amazing, but I thought it looked kind of sloppy with the lights up along the siding of the house. So I decided, I did like, Mary was right. It's like, you know those mind puzzles where you have to like connect all the dots without
taking your pencil up.
Yeah, picking up your pencil. Like, I literally mapped it out on a piece of paper before I did this. So we had started at that corner last time, and I figured out if I start from that corner, then I could go, I went, wait, I don't think that's right, but something like that. And so and now there's more lights over top instead of along the house.
Yeah, it looks real good.
It's good. Man, we love it out here.
Guys, that felt like a summer day. Worked in the yard.
It was like 85 degrees.
Yeah, when I came in from working in the yard, it said 86 degrees. I mean, that's summer temperatures, and it was fun. We just went out on the deck and sat out there, heard the crickets chirping and all the night sounds.
As much as like, if previous to this you would have told me like, you cannot go out, and I would be like, but I might go crazy. However, I am kind of used to it. Like, I've obviously had months where, or weeks and months where I'm too sick to go out anyway. So I'm kind of already used to it. But if you would have told me that, I would have said you're crazy and I'm gonna go crazy. But the reality is, it is this, now that I'm not so sick like we were 2 weeks ago, it's like this peaceful moment of stillness where like all of a sudden we have time and space to work in the yard, and like working hard feels really good, and like sitting out on the porch and just being thankful for right now. It's been a really sweet time for us.
Did you guys see we put up the cow in the bedroom? I feel like he does need something under him.
I think you did that when I was like super feverish, unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I barely remember.
Oh, yeah.
Except that I looked up and I'm like, oh, a cow.
Guys, I think that day, the first 24 hours that Mary was sick, it was a Saturday.
You worked
I worked so hard, and I don't know if it was like a subconscious, like my body knew I was getting sick, but I was just in like, I cleaned the entire house.
Yeah, I realized you kind of missed that whole first day, so you didn't really know what was coming for you, because I was up here.
That's true. I just kind of left her to fever on her own. But I like cleaned the house. I think I felt like Mary's getting sick. I need to get a ton done today. And I did. I did the laundry, I cleaned the house. I'm really grateful for that because the next day I was out for a week.
Yeah.
And so, anyways.
But we made it through, and you guys will make it through. That's hard to say. We can't say that. You see, that's the other stark reality of what's happening right now in the world, is that this virus is killing people. So I hesitate to say we're making it through, you can make it through, but that's the same for any day in life. Things are killing people every single day, and so
we can take the next hour and the next day and embrace it.
Yeah. So
and
we're praying for you guys. Keep
as
going.
always.
As always.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night. And good night.